Hello, welcome to Kingsman Advocates Law Firm YouTube channel. Here we discuss on corporate legal issues in line with the Cameroon legal system. And if this is the first time of you tuning into our channel, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to receive more content. Last week we discussed on how to register a company in Cameroon, and we also discussed on how to establish or legalize your NGO or foundation in Cameroon. So today we are going to talk on how to obtain and import and export licenses in Cameroon. Now, it's important to note that import and export is the core of international trade. So if you want to engage into trade between nations, the most important licenses you must acquire are the import and export licenses. I must also emphasize that there's a difference between an import license and an export license. We shall commence by talking on import license. Now, what is an import license? An import license is simply an authorization given by the government permitting the circulation of certain goods in the country. Now, it's important to note that import trade is a very lucrative venture, provided you have the know-how and the capital to engage in it. Now, it is common to hear importers or businessmen raise the question, how do I obtain my import license? The reason is because if you engage into import trade without obtaining the right license, it has a lot of consequences. For example, you may want to engage in the importation of agricultural products or building construction. And somehow, in the course of shipping your products or goods into Cameroon, in the containers you have cars. Now, that is automobile. That is not part of your company's objectives, for example. Now, the possible consequences, you may succeed to clear all the goods, including those that you imported, which were not indicated in your company articles. You may not succeed to clear the goods. They may be impounded, and you have a lot of problems with the customs. Now, what am I trying to say? It's important that the nature of goods you intend to import into Cameroon must be expressly stated in the company's incorporation documents. In that light, you save yourself from delayance and clearance or impoundment of your goods at the level of the customs. Now, the starting point to obtain an import license is to ensure that an official letter is addressed to the Registrar of Commerce. Now, this letter must be supported with the company incorporation documents. Why do I say so? It is the company that is engaging in international trade. And as such, the company must prove that it is duly registered. So the supporting documents are the incorporation documents of the company, the taxpayer's card, which also goes a long way to show that you have a good tax status of the company before engaging into international trade, as well as the attestation of localization of the company. Now, when all these documents are put in place, it will be filed at the level of the Commerce Registry, at the level of the National Shippers Council, and at the level of the Social Insurance Fund. Now, the insurance fund is there to cover and insure the goods you intend to import into Cameroon. In case of any damage or they get lost, the insurance company is there to cover all that. Now, at the end of it, you'll be issued with what they call the import license, which is going to expressly capture the kind of goods you intend to import in Cameroon. Now, when you have this, you're going to avoid the embarrassment of your goods being impounded because you don't have the right documentations. You're going to reduce the risk in international trade. You're going to reduce the losses in international trade. And you're going to enjoy a good corporate and business environment in Cameroon. Now, we are going to move forward to discuss on an export license. What is an export license? An export license is simply the authorization given by the government of Cameroon permitting you to export certain goods out of Cameroon to other countries. Now, before engaging into the process of exportation, it's also important to ensure you have the right document. Today, I'm going to discuss further on the documents required for you to be issued with an export license. Now, a starting point is you must also address a formal letter to the registrar of commerce. Now, the letter must expressly state that you intend to engage into export trade and must highlight the kind of goods or products you intend to export out of the country. And that is because not all goods are allowed to be exported out of Cameroon. There are some goods that fall in what we call the negative list, like cocaine, that falls under drugs, and arms. Now, this letter must be supported with the company incorporation document. And I must emphasize that the articles of association of the company must expressly spell out that you intend to engage in export trading. Now, when you put together all the company documents, you now proceed at the level of registration. But it is important for you to note the consequences of engaging into export trade without having the right documentation. Your goods can be seized at the level of the customs. You may be banned from engaging into export-related activity for non-compliance of international best practices. So as such, it is always advisable to get the right legal guide and advice to enable you obtain your export license. Now, permit me to also say that after putting together all these documents, they must be submitted at the level of the National Shippers Council. They must also be submitted at the level of the Registry of Commerce and must also be submitted at the level of the National Social Insurance. Now, at the end of it all, you'll be issued with an export license that clearly specify the kind of goods you intend to export and send out of the country. Now, what are the benefits? Your business and your company name will be operating in line with not just the laws of Cameroon, but in line with international commerce law. And also, your business will attain a certain level of credibility and trust amongst all those you're dealing with because you have the right license. Now, in the course of our practice, we have received questions like, is it advisable to have, for instance, two import licenses and two export licenses for different goods, respectively? Now, in reality, there is no law limiting you from having two separate licenses. But out of our professional experience, we advise that the manner in which your company articles are drafted and prepared will reflect in the import or export license. Now, if you want more details on this, you can watch our previous video in YouTube on how to register a company in Cameroon. So, if you have any other question touching on this subject, please comment below and we're going to respond to your questions. And this is the first time you're watching our channel, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more content.